The addiction story is the story that we tell ourselves, which permits us to continue doing something that brings negative consequences into our life. My definition of addiction, if you've read my book, you know it, or if you've been at my workshops, my definition is addiction is any behavior you continue to do despite the fact that it brings negative consequences into your life. Any behavior. So, in order to keep doing things that are bad for us, we got to have some kind of story built up. People don't just hurt themselves. We're not actually built to do that. There would need to be a reason, and it's very important that you understand if you're struggling with addiction or a loved one of yours is struggling with addiction, there's a reason why people behave the way that they do. It's not coming from nowhere. Where does addiction originate? Where does it come from? There's an answer, actually, to that question, and I believe that addiction comes from trauma. Let's define trauma for a moment as any undigested, unprocessed emotional experience that still lives in the body-mind system. Any unprocessed negative experience that you've had lives in the body, lives in the mind. We'll call that trauma. It doesn't have to be a huge physical trauma. It doesn't have to be a sexual trauma. It could be a sense of insecurity. It could be a sense of abandonment or being separate from. Those are traumatic experiences, and when we have them as a child over time, that gets put into the body, that gets put into the mind. That's what I call trauma. And I believe that the tendency to relieve ourselves of the negative feelings associated with a trauma is where we begin our addiction.